The month of Muharram is the first month of the Islamic calendar. An important and tragic event took place on the 10th of Muharram that shook the Muslim world. It was the murder of Imam Hussein, his family members and his close friends by the army of Yazid. Hussein was one of the two grandsons of the Holy Prophet Muhammad and the younger of the two sons of Hazrat Fatima, the daughter of the Holy Prophet. There were many companions of Imam Hussein that sacrificed their lives on the day of Ashura. Many of them are not usually mentioned by their names in speeches. Many of them are not usually mentioned, although their sacrifices were no less important. The purpose of this presentation is to pay tribute and mention them by their names. It is also important to note that traditionally the number of martyrs in Karbala is stated to be 72. However, according to several accounts, there were more than 100 martyrs. Start of the Battle of Karbala. Umar ibn Sa'ad started the battle by first shooting an arrow towards the supporters of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Thereafter, his soldiers showered them with hundreds of arrows. This resulted in the death of many companions.
We have a story about Burair by Sister Azra Hassan Ali.
Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Assalamu ala al-Husayn wa ala Ali ibn al-Husayn wa ala awlad al-Husayn wa ala ashab. Assalamu alaikum everyone. Now yesterday we talked about a very special friend of Imam Hussein, and his name was John. And today we're going to talk about another friend. So Imam Hussein alayhi salam had lots of friends who loved him a lot. Today we're going to talk about Burair Hamadani. Burair was famous for being a really strong and brave fighter. When he saw that Umar Sa'ad and his men had made up their mind to kill Imam Hussein and his kinsmen, he couldn't wait to go to the battlefield and show Yazid's soldiers how good he was at using his sword. He knew that he could make them really scared. But Imam Hussein managed to convince him that in Islam we never go and attack anyone. We only fight if we're going to defend ourselves, and we die as shaheed, which means martyr. Now when Burair was walking around the tent of Imam Hussein, checking on everyone, he heard something. It was the cries of the children who were so thirsty for water. They had not had anything to drink for 3 days. So he got a couple of friends together, and they all decided that they were going to try their best to get at least 1 bag of water to wet the dry lips of the children. He and the brave few friends started marching towards River Furat. They were really determined to do whatever they needed to do to get back with some water for the children. But they were stopped by the soldiers of Umar Sa'ad, who were guarding the riverbanks. The soldiers asked, "Who are you? Why have you come to the river?" Burair was not scared. He stood up to them and said, "I am Burair Hamadani, follower of Imam Hussein. I've come to take water from the river to Imam Hussein's camp for the thirsty children of the Imam." The soldiers listened to Burair and then said, "Oh, that's fine. You can stay here and you can drink as much water as you can. but we will not let you take even one drop of water back to those children." This made Burair really upset and angry. He looked at the soldiers and he shouted back at them, "Oh, heartless, horrible people! You don't care at all about the poor, helpless children of Imam Hussein who are dying of thirst? So long as these innocent children do not get any water, we can't begin to even think about tasting a drop of it." The soldiers laughed at Burair. They said, "Oh, that's fine. There's still no way that we're giving you any water." Burair said, "Well, if that's your final reply, then be ready to fight us, because we are not going back without water, no matter what happens." So Burair and his friends started fighting Yazid's army with such strength and bravery. They managed to get rid of all the soldiers that were guarding the river, and they managed to fill the water bags with water. So they started to rush back towards Imam Hussein's camp with real happiness. He placed the bag of water at the feet of the children, and the children gathered around, and they became so happy. They started shouting with joy and throwing themselves on the bag of water. But suddenly he saw that the weight of all those children squashed the bag, and the tied up end of the bag opened, and all the water gushed out onto the dry soil. The children were so sad. They started crying and rubbing their bodies on the wet sand. Burair cried when he saw this, and he was broken-hearted. He cried and he said, "My efforts were of no good, and these poor innocent children are still thirsty." Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un.
Now it's time to listen to poetry by Sister Malek Mehdi.
This poem is about Muslim bin Aqil. There could be nobody braver than Muslim bin Aqil, who did everything for Hussein. He didn't care if he was killed. As he set off with Hussein to the battlefield Karbala, he didn't realize he wouldn't reach that far. Hussein stopped off at his father's Kufa. He sent Muslim to recruit gatherers. He preached in the square. It was successful, firstly. He caught many people and did the task successfully. But bin Ziyad wasn't happy. He sent out messengers 5 to capture the infallible, dead or alive. He stayed at a woman's home who recognized Muslim and said immediately, "You must come in." He was safe until her son knew. He reported to bin Ziyad. His reward he threw. Muslim fought bravely, but was no match for hundreds. He was captured and sent to the dungeons. He was brought to the castle for his trial, was accused all sorts, but never used denial. He was overwhelmed with thirst. Bin Ziyad offered him a drink, but blood fell from his face, and into the water it sank. Bin Ziyad, how he laughed, and said, "You're condemned to die parched, the waters turned red." But Muslim knew the real reason why. Hussein would, like him, without water would die. He was taken to the roof, where he was flung to the skies. His body whizzed down, but his soul had flied.
Now it is time for Latmiyat by Sisters Sabiha and Sakina Rahmani.
I will come crawling to you, Hussein. I will come crawling to you, Hussein. They can cut my arms and my legs. They can take everything that I have. I will come crawling to you, Hussein. I will come crawling to you, Hussein. Every day it cuts me inside. I'm so very far from your side. I would give away these eyes just to catch a glimpse of your shrine. If I have to cross the seas and every desert in between, I will come crawling to you, Hussein. I will come crawling to you, Hussein. They can cut my arms and my legs. They can take everything that I have. I will come crawling to you, Hussein. I will come crawling to you, Hussein. I can tell you that I'm insane in the love of my master Hussein. In this universe there's no pain that can ever keep me away. Every inch that I come your way, every beat of my heart will say, I will come crawling to you, Hussein. I will come crawling to you, Hussein. They can cut my arms and my legs. They can take everything that I have. I will come crawling to you, Hussein. I will come crawling to you, Hussein. If I lose my family and friends, and my life's coming to an end, if I lose my feet and hands, if I can no longer stand, if I stumble 1,000 times, if the journey's 1,000 miles, I will come crawling to you, Hussein. I will come crawling to you, Hussein. They can cut my arms and my legs. They can take everything that I have. I will come crawling to you, Hussein. I will come crawling to you, Hussein. This is now my state, O Hussein. I am so overwhelmed with pain. Who can I turn to and explain all the grief that my heart now contains? How can I now call for help, pinning all my hopes on yourself? I will come crawling to you, Hussein. I will come crawling to you, Hussein. They can cut my arms and my legs. They can take everything that I have. I will come crawling to you, Hussein. I will come crawling to you, Hussein. On the plains of Karbala, when you said with a heart so scarred, Hal min nasiri yansuruna, who can help me in times so hard? Falling from the court to the floor, Ali Asghar gave this call. I will come crawling to you, Hussein. I will come crawling to you, Hussein. They can cut my arms and my legs. They can take everything that I have. I will come crawling to you, Hussein. I will come crawling to you, Hussein.
And today we will talk about another friend, Habib. Now once upon a time, our Holy Prophet was walking with his very good friend Mazahir. Mazahir had a son called Habib, and he was also walking with them. Habib was walking behind Imam Hussein, the grandson of the Holy Prophet. Suddenly, the Holy Prophet stopped walking and sat down on the ground. He called Habib towards him. He gave him a big hug and kissed him. Now usually people only do this if a child has done something really good. So Muzahir,
The Queen of Patience is what you've been crowned. When you are near, no frowning faces around. For you are my mistress. Alone I'd be filled with stress. Before I was a fly in a web. My saviour, my lady, my Zainab.